Good morning, everyone. It's Lori Staley, Addicted Stamper with Stampin' Up, and it is Thursday morning at 10, so it is time for coffee and cards. If you are on with me, you know the routine. Give me a shout out. Let me know you're here, and we'll get started in just a second. It looks like it's going to be a pretty day outside. It's a little chilly still, at least here. I've been living under blankets and have jackets on, and my mother says it's lovely down there and she doesn't need a jacket at all when she's outside, and I don't understand. Good morning, Valerie. Did you? All right, well, maybe I've got a few things that I can show you that will add to what you were doing. Oh my. I got a frog in my throat this morning. All right. I'll just give it another minute and then we'll get started. Hey, Donna, you got it. You got it. We're here. We are here. Good morning, Jerry. Nice to see you, ladies. All right. Hey, Ashley. Sorry, I don't know what's in my throat, but something's in my throat. And it won't come out, darn it. Okay. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and get started so I can be respectful of everyone's time. We're going to do a little talk about it Thursday here to get started as well. So Paper Pumpkin for May is all about expressions in color, and it coordinates with the expressions in ink product line that is in the new annual catalog. So if you've never done Paper Pumpkin, it is a box of goodies, crafting goodies, that comes right to your door and has everything in it that you need to make the projects in the box. There's a little instruction sheet, although I will also say there are videos. There's a Paper Pumpkin group on Facebook that you can watch as well that might be a little bit more helpful than the instruction sheet. But this particular box has enough supplies in it to make 9 cards with the coordinating envelopes, and it includes every month it includes an exclusive stamp set. And this one actually has 2 Stampin' Spots, right, which are the little cube inks. And usually the stamps in the Paper Pumpkin are smaller. They're not some of our larger stamps. So those cube inks are perfect. Plus, those are what I tell you need for your Stamparatus, right? To work the best with your Stamparatus and not get ink on your plates when you're inking up your stamp. So this one actually has 2. Usually we get 1 Stampin' Spot. And then it's featuring all of our ink colors, some colors from the 2022 collection, as well as some from the 21-23 collection, which are our brand new ones. And then, of course, as I said, it coordinates with the expressions in ink. So you can see the box here looks just like some of these papers in expressions of ink that I shared with you all on Sunday night. So it has that alcohol technique that we did on the vellum a couple of weeks back to create those beautiful, beautiful papers, right? So it coordinates with the products in that line, as well as stands alone. So if you don't have any of that, you don't need it, because everything you need to create those 9 cards is in the box. All right, so that's the first thing. And then just a reminder that we do have our Connect, Craft, and Collect going on, meaning that if you have a in-home party, if you're allowed to do that in your area, if you are having a virtual party, which I do those all the time and they're a lot of fun, if you want to do a book party and just gather some orders together from you and your friends, however you want to do it, maybe you have such a big wish list that you want to put a $250 order in which case at $250 and up, you receive an additional $25 in hostess credits for that particular party. And goodness, if it hits the $450 level, then you get your half price item as well. Good morning, Carol. Thank you for sharing. You can always, sorry, my voice. You can always just get one. You would just go into the store, buy a 1-month subscription, and then you would use that code to enter into the Paper Pumpkin site to get this month's kit. Or you can just go to the Paper Pumpkin site, sign up, and then cancel after a month. But these have been really good lately, so who knows what the next one would be. You might want to wait to see what the next one's going to be before you cancel, right? So there is that with the party. And then remember, we have that amazing Join My Team special going on, where typically you get 125 in your starter kit for $99. But this time you're getting $155 in product for $99. So that is a great deal as well. You become a member of my team for a minimum of 3 months, get a few extra goodies, maybe at a discount, or maybe start a little side hustle, right? That's how I started. I just wanted the discount. But anyway, okay. So those are the 2 things that I wanted to mention from Stampin' Up. Of course, here are the just cards for this month. A minimum $25 product order using this hostess code will earn you these cards for free. If we are mailing, it is just a postage charge, right? So they are so pretty, and I'm really excited about this month. We've got a lot of new product on here, hand penned, in colors, the pattern party designer series paper that is a hostess exclusive offer. So if you do a virtual party or an in-home party or a book party, you can add that on to your party rewards, and then some more pansy paper, right? So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I had to do one with the hydrangea and that mercury glass, right? I love the mercury glass. Okay, so that's the just cards for this month. I do have my product-based class. I'll be sharing that with you on Sunday night. It's pretty cool. I can't wait to share it with you. Well, hi, Christy. Hey, ladies, can we all wish Christy a happy birthday? Today is her birthday. So, Christy, I adore you, and I hope you have a wonderful day, my friend. So, all right. I would sing, but you know, I got this frog in my throat, and you'd all get off and not watch me, so I don't want to do that. All right, here we go, friends. So, if you remember, we did that frame on Tuesday's tip. This is what I did with it. Isn't that cool? So we're going to do it again in case you missed Tuesday's tip. And on Tuesday I did the, what did I do? I did the 3/8 inch border, right? I tried it after I got off. Apparently it came out much better. So I'm going to do my 3/4 inch. That's what I was going to start with. So this is just a piece of printer paper, right? So we are going to score a 3/4 inch the whole way around. Now, the reason I came up with 3/4 inch, if you missed it, was because you measure the width of your border punch. And this one is just over. So we're going to do it at 3 1/4. I think that was my issue on Tuesday. Why this is sticking this more? I wonder if I've got glue. You know, sometimes glue goes everywhere in my studio. It's amazing where I find glue dots and everything else. All right, so I've got my 3/4 inch border. Sorry, guys, I don't know what this is. Oops, upside down won't be good, will it? Okay. We're going to fold on those score lines. And then we're going to bring in our scissors. And we're going to cut from corner to corner where the fold or the score lines intersect, right? I am sorry. I hate to keep clearing my throat. I took a drink. It didn't help. I'm not sure what that is. I did not go the whole way into the corner. Oh, that's going to be a problem. That tore. Well, we'll try it. I have a backup just in case. No, that's going to cut right off. We're going to try this. I'm not sure this is going to work because that tore when I scored it. That's the one thing. You have to have a light hand when scoring your, scoring your printer paper. And we're going to take a little bit of seal. Remember I said get some of that tacky off. Line that up on your cardstock. We're going to take our evening evergreen ink. And yeah, stay down. I might not. All right, I'm just going to show you on 3 sides just as a reminder, because, you know, it's that kind of day, that kind of morning. And then that's way flatter. Sometimes you need 3 hands to stamp, don't you? And then you're going to do this, right? And you want to make sure you're centered between the ends. And you're going to come around and you're going to pick this side up, re-ink. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a sore throat. It just kind of flew in there this morning and here we had it. And I know it's annoying to hear me continue to clear my throat, but I feel like, I don't know, I should be doing some other kind of live maybe. See how we did. So there you go. That's what it's supposed to look like. It was definitely because I went a little bit too small last time. And yeah, I cannot do it with that side, but there we go. Can I do this side maybe? Let's try this side. Yeah, I should be able to do this side. Normally I'd say it's because I hadn't talked to anybody yet this morning, but I've been on the phone with several people this morning. So I don't know. I don't get it. All right. So you get the idea. And here's the one I did after I got off and figured out I needed the 3/4 inch. So you can see how it lines up perfectly in the corners. That's the piece we're going to use on our card. And then I have all my other pieces. And this card comes together really quickly. A little bit of stamping and die cutting, right? This is Cajun Craze, 4 1/4 by 11. See, I practiced and I rocked it. So you can't rock your stamps. Straight up and down. That is your best solution. And maybe pause for a beat or two while you let that ink absorb into the cardstock. I use the stitch rectangle for the Whisper White. And we're going to stamp our greeting on there in Cajun Craze. Hey, Betty, good morning. Good morning, good morning. This is actually a greeting out of the Plentiful plants, which I'll show you here in a second. Okay. That one over here. So here is the stamp set, Plentiful Plants. And of course, if you remember the other night when I was showing you the designer series paper, I said, I think the Bloom Where You Were Planted, which is part of that suite, was going to be my favorite. That's why I had to play with this first, because I love this product line. So these are the Bloom Where You Were Planted designer series papers. I love them. I love that we've got some brick walls going here, one in the Cajun Craze, and then one in this soft suede, maybe Sahara sand. I'm not sure. Of the pots, these you can cut out with the dies. I always love when we have designer series paper that coordinates with the dies, because if you don't want to stamp, you don't have to, right? You can just cut a piece out. I love that background. That reminds me, now of course it's not popular right now in something like this, but that reminds me of a wallpaper that you might have in your kitchen. I love that though, right? And then a little bit of a wood grain. So love the papers, love this stamp set. And I'm not sure I do. Since I'm using the same bundle in all the cards this morning, I wasn't sure which box I had the dies in, but there are our dies. And I'm going to grab this one because we're going to need it for this project. So lots of dies, some that coordinate with your stamped images, right? Your leaves, your greenery, this piece of greenery, the pots, these two pieces, all the pots and everything you can die cut. And then you have this really cool hanging basket. So, and then you also have this cute little accent plant. So lots of fun, some different containers. I had a blast playing with this. And the ideas just kept coming because I must have made, I don't know, 4 or 5 different projects. And this is the one that stuck. All right, so let's put this on our card. Or our mat, I should say. And then I did go ahead and stamp in Cajun Craze and Evening Evergreen. And we're going to just, sorry. I'm so sorry. Grab some scrap white here. I think this should be big enough. And see, yeah, we're going to do one in the soft succulent. When I met my husband, some of you may never have heard this story. So I met my husband through a church group. There was a bunch of us that all went to the same church, and Rick would show up after church to go to brunch with us. That's how I met him. The first time we all ended up going back to his apartment to watch a football game, all the women in the group were sitting in his living room watching football. And all the men in the group were in the kitchen talking, cooking, and plants. And my husband had a plant like this, except that it was taller than I am, that he had grown. He had a very green thumb. I'm not sure that thumb is still as green. He tries, but life got busy, and what we could do when we were in our early 20s or mid 20s, we don't necessarily have the time to do when we're trying to maintain a job and a house and everything else, right? So, but it was funny. It was just, down to every single person. The women were in the living room and the guys were in the kitchen. Talk about a role reversal. It's one of the reasons I loved that group so much. All right, so we have our plant cut out, and we're just going to mount these on here. Except I want to put a little bit of glue here so I can get my first one in, huh? This did not cut as evenly as I would have liked. I think I was talking too much, but it's okay because we're going to mount it on Whisper White. So Whisper White is very forgiving when that happens. And then we'll bring this one up this way. Oh yeah, that looks good. All right. Believe it or not, I'm not going to use a dimensional for this. I'm just going to mount it straight because we're going to dimensionalize. Did I just make a word up? I'm not sure. This whole layer. Yes, it will. It also will work with another set you'll see here in a little while. I got 3 projects for you today, guys. Hope that's okay. I think we graduated from 2. I think I've been doing 3 for a while now, 3 or 4 for a while now. All right, we're just going to put that in the center. And then we have our Whisper White. I'm going to stamp that in, I think we'll do it in Soft Succulent, just in the bottom of the corner here. Again, while I leave it blank from a greeting standpoint, I always like to add a little something to the inside just to tie it to the front, right? And then I would do the same thing on my envelope. Always, always, always stamp your envelopes. I don't always do it just because of the amount that I crank out of here. So this is a case of listen to what I say, don't watch what I do, maybe. But when I can, I try to zhuzh up the envelope a little bit. So yes, welcoming windows. Matter of fact, I intended to put a shutter on one of the cards you'll see today as an accent piece on it, and I totally forgot, and I put something else in its place. So looking for my trash cans. So there we go. There's our first project that we did with the frame that we created. Just love that. And then of course that image came out of Elegantly Said, but you could absolutely use any long border type stamp that you have. Just make sure that it is long enough to, go across your ends. All right, so that's project number 1. Oh my goodness, I did not announce, I just saw it laying there. I did not announce who won the prize, the Stamp and Cut and Emboss Little Details embossing folders from Tuesday. And you probably all are wondering who that was. And I haven't seen her on here, but that is Connie Carson. So Connie, I don't know if you're on this morning or not, but you are my winner. So congratulations on that. I will put that in your package I'm building for you, and hopefully be able to get that out to you next week. Okay, so let's do another one. How about this cute little card? Look at a little kitty on the rug. It's so cute. Sometimes I surprise myself. I really, really like what I've done. All right, so we're going to bring in that planner. And this is one of the papers from the Plant Where You Bloom Designer Series paper, right? Using a base of soft suede. And then I have a layer of Evening Evergreen. That feels really thick. We're going to go ahead and mount that. Do you ever lay your seal down or your adhesive down and it's literally sitting under your hand and you can't find it? Yeah, I really like the hanging basket too. I just left an 1/8 of an inch border, right? So the mat is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, and then the Designer Series paper is 5 1/4 by 4. Now I could have saved myself a little bit of paper because I'm going to put some hardwood down here, right? The flooring. I have the cat on there without the piece from In Good Taste, and it looked like they were floating in air because all you saw behind them was the wall. So we're going to go ahead and mount that. I'm going to lay that up here for right now. This is a piece of the wood grain paper from In Good Taste. And that's the big pack of designer series paper that is in the annual catalog. And it is a carryover, and I was thrilled because I have 3 packs of that paper. I love it that much. I used it in my stamp camp last year. You had an extra cat looking for breakfast. They are aware that you are good for that, right? So I'm using the double oval punch to create my rug. I'll tell you what, I was really, really sad that they discontinued the stitch shapes. And of course there were ovals in there, but since they discontinued the layering ovals, I have reached for that more often than not. This is the in color evening evergreen piece, and this is out of the 6x6 in color 2123 designer series paper. All right, so we have that, and then we have our kitty punch, and this also did carry over. And we're just going to get a little black cat out of there. And the cool thing about a punch or even a die cut when you're not stamping on it is you can make it face either direction that you want, right? We're going to mount the carpet right there. That looks like a messy housekeeper because it's askewed. There we go. We're going to pop the cat up. No, we're going to pop the cat up with dimensionals. That also helps to make it look a little bit, I can't talk now. First it was my throat and now my words. Good morning. Good morning, Stacy. Oh, I'm glad you like it. Yes, it's cute, isn't it? Makes it have a little more dimension when you add the dimensionals to it, apparently. And not so flat, right? So again, the wall, couldn't put the cat on the wall. That wasn't going to work. So we had to find a flooring and then a rug to sit the little guy on. And then you notice I'm saving this part for last, right? Then I have just a note, let you know that someone thought of you today. I think that's a great, great greeting. And I'm pretty sure I put the stamp set away because I used it on a project last night for my class or for Sunday night. I don't know. I was designing everything last night. But it's one that I used on Sunday night. Circle of Friendship, maybe. Expressions in Friendship, something like that. Okay. And I have a sponge, and yes, the sponges are retired, but you can do the same thing with your blending brushes or your sponge daubers. This is the rectangle postage punch, by the way, in case I failed to say that. This is one of my favorite punches. I am sponging the edges. When you sponge, hold the piece in your hand and take the sponge along the edges, right? Now, the more, this is perpendicular, I think, yes. The more perpendicular you hold the sponge, the thinner the level of ink or the layer of ink will be around the border. If for some reason, and there are times when I want a wider border, you're going to put the sponge more on the face of the label, right? So the further you angle your sponge in, the more you will get color along the face of your label. Does that make sense? Hey, Marlene. So we're going to mount that onto just a piece of soft suede. And I just cut the soft suede to be just slightly larger than the label, the punch out. Now I neglected, I put the dimensionals on the back there, but I think I'm going to put the dimensionals on the back of the white on this. I think I'm going to put it on the back of the soft suede for this. Okay, so I just had, there it is. So I went ahead and I did the little plants and the container that they're going to reside in. So we can go ahead and put that part together. And then I'm going to die cut the hanging planter for you. And I'm going to tell you how I made that recording, but I'm not going to do that on today's video because it took a little while. But it's an extra step to punch it up, right? So that would be what we call an advid stamper. I love these little plants. They're so cute. All right, so we're gonna lay that there. I'm gonna put that over here for a second. I'm bringing in some crumb cake. And the other thing that coordinates with this suite is the macrame embossing folder. Oh, good. Yay, yay, yay. So we're going to cut that out. Actually, let's see. Can I do it? Oh, I think this will fit through here. So we'll bring in the mini boss or the baby boss. This thing has gotten used hard lately because it seems like I'm working with a lot of smaller dies. And of course, they fit through here perfectly. And this sits right on the edge of my table. So I can just turn to my right and grab it rather than go onto my big shot station. Now I didn't run that through twice, so let's see if we had success. This is not a real deep, oh my goodness, yes we did. Look at that. It all just fell right out. That's what we want to see, right? I don't think Thelma's on, but the elf moved my one trash can. I keep going to my right and it's not there. All right, let's set that over here for a second. So this is just going to mount behind. And because I don't want my adhesive to show through my plant hanger, right? I'm going to use Tombow liquid glue. Get my unglue my tip. Just a thin line. Yes, if I had remembered the adhesive sheet, but I don't know that the adhesive sheet would work 100% because I didn't want it up where the knot's going to be, right? So I'm just going to put that on there. And then we're going to put our pot in there like that. And I'm going to let that dry for a second. Now, this is our new Baker's Twine Essential Pack. And you get in here, you get basic black, berry vanilla, Sahara sand, basic white, sorry, and crumb cake. And some of them are thicker than others, which is kind of cool. I opted for the crumb cake. I don't know if you can see this. This is actually braided. I actually braided a length of this to hang the planter from. I'm not going to braid today, but I will tell you how I did it. I cut 3 lengths, right? Same length. And I attached them to my silicone pad with a glue dot. So I put all 3 tops together. And then I literally just braided the twine, right? Just like you would braid someone's hair. It really does give you a nice substantial rope to hang your planter from, but it does take a little bit of time. So I'm going to opt not to do that this morning. I hope you'll forgive me in honor of your time. And we're just going to grab a double length. Okay. And that's probably longer than I needed, but I usually err on the side of giving myself a little extra when I do have to cut off of the roll first, because my fingers do not have the little dexterity that it had when I was younger. And then that just slides right through, which I love. They gave us a nice size opening up there. And I might twist this just to add a little interest. Just a little bit. 1 or 2 twists. And then we're going to hang that down over the top of our, and put it right there. And I did not put a dimensional. Oh boy. Today is the Watch Lori Stumble Over Her Words and Clear Her Throat show, in case you didn't know that. I did not put a dimensional behind it, but you certainly could do that. That would be the wrong side. I think I'm going to pad myself in a cocoon for the rest of the day. What do you think? All right, so we're going to start here. I'm going to have to bring that up a little bit more. See how that looks. Yeah, I think that'll work right like that. Okay. So I'm just going to add a little seal to the back. I would like it to hang straight. There we go. Cute. Cute, cute. I will go ahead and trim these excess ends off. Put this in my little metal bowl. I'll tell you guys, if you don't have a metal bowl and you are a die cutter, it is the best thing to have, because I no longer look, well, I have to remember to put them in the bowl, but I no longer look for my dies because I know they're going to be in that bowl. And they don't get, I don't know about you, but when I stamp, the entire surface of my desk or table, whatever I'm using, is covered, and they don't get shuffled in amongst stuff, and then you can't find them. You find them in your catalog, 4 days later, all that fun stuff. There we go. What do you think? Cute. So that is project number 2. Now this next one is a little, you got to like die cutting for the next one, right? All right, so that's project number 2. And of course I am giving away the projects that I'm making today for liking and sharing and commenting on the video. My little planter. What do you think of that one? Oh, I love my magnetic bowl, yes. Amazon or my nephew, Harbor Freight. Like, my nephew goes there all the time. All right, here we go. Now, I did do most of the die cutting on this one. And I really have a lot of plants on here. A lot of plants on here. But can you see this little bench? The little garden bench that I created in there? And can you see this grass? Anybody know where the grass came from? It's a die cut. I'll give you that tip. Anybody know where that's from? Leave me a comment while I pull my stuff together here. And I said that there was another set that this Plentiful plants go with, and simple succulents. Not so much the stamps, right? Although you could mix in a big pot of succulents on there, but I used some of the dies for this one. Of course, that's the big background die. But I used that guy, and I used that guy. So don't be afraid to mix and match your stamp sets, your dies. Just make sure you get them back in the right container. Maybe. So Simply Succulents goes very well with that. All right. Anybody else got a guess? Woo, don't lose the pieces we already die cut. I love this paper. This is out of the plant Bloom Where You Were Planted. That's the brick wall. But the other side's really pretty too. And I'm just using a simple piece of Very Vanilla for the background because I wanted the background to stand out. No, I'm not saying that. I didn't want the background to take away from the plants. I knew that was going to happen. Let me dump all these out. I didn't think y'all needed to see me sit and die cut everything, right? Yes. Who said that? Stacy? Mountain set is correct. I went through that catalog looking for something. I mean, we used to have a lot of stamps you could use for grass. And I went through the catalog looking for something and couldn't come up with anything. And so decided that Majestic Mountain Dies, which coordinates with the mountain air. And it's going to be the die that cuts the trees out. So Ashley was right and Stacy nailed the name. It is a tree die from Mountain Air. And it's this little guy, right? So this just cuts the top edge. When you cut this out, you want to lay it on a piece of cardstock, line it up wherever you want the height, right? And then die cut. And that way you have the tips, which look like grass, kind of, if you use your imagination, and leave yourself as much space as you need at the bottom to create your grassy area. All right. Again, all these cards, for some reason, I forget who asked me this a couple weeks ago. For some reason, all of these cards spoke 4 1/4 by 11 to me for the design. I don't know why. You could have easily done 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 and had it open this way, right? But I saw 4 1/4 by 11. All right, we are going to start with our bench. And this again is just a piece of the In Good Taste wood grain paper. But where did I get the pin legs from? All right, I just have 2 of them on there, and I will show you. These were the scraps that were laying on my table when I was trying to come up with a design element. And well, I will tell you if I find the piece of wood grain paper that I put in the kit. It's in the other kit. Hold on. I got it. It just won't come. There we go. So there is our piece of paper that I'm going to use to create the pin legs. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to cut out from here, from the wood grain paper. I know you're going, that does not look like pin legs. Hang in there with me. Have faith. Have some faith in me. I got you. So I am putting it in at an angle, right? Especially in the little machine, it doesn't like a straight edge. So we're going to put that through at an angle, just like that. It still doesn't like it. Oh, I might have to go to my big machine. Sometimes it just doesn't want to play with you. All right, let me do it on my big machine for time's sake. Still got to put it through at an angle. That protects your dies from becoming concave and bending when you don't run them through straight on. Now, some of them, it doesn't matter, like a flower, that's not really, doesn't really have a straight on edge, but and of course, when you don't want the pieces to fall right out of your die, they do. They absolutely do. All right, so here is, which I'll keep that and use that on another project. But look at this. This is the scrap that comes out between those straight edges. And there is another piece somewhere, but it went away, but that's okay. I didn't need that piece. So here are my pin legs. And these are even pin legs too, if you want something a little bit skinnier. But I wanted this to have a little bit more weight to it. So there they are. Can you see that? So all we're going to do to build our bench is add those legs. How many think I'm crazy now? I'm going to trim that down just a little bit too. Are you worried about me? I always say, guys, look at everything from multiple angles, upside down, go back through your catalog, check it out, looking at it upside down. Let's bring that one in because I think I'm going to end up cutting off a little bit on that end. You never know what you're going to see, right? And then I want to make sure when I put that, not crazy crafty, I'll take that. I like that. Okay, so you got to make sure that wherever you put your bench, you dropped it low enough that the legs are going to be in the grass, right? So that looks good to me. I might bring it up just a smidge here. One of my favorite things when I have time is to design, and finding different ways to use our dies and our products is one of the things I enjoy the most. So I trimmed off that end. We're going to go ahead and mount our grass, and then we're going to build up from there. Green on green. That's not too easy to see there. Let's hope I get it somewhat straight. Okay. We can mount this on our card front now. I like to gather up the pieces as we go. This one has a lot of pieces in it. And they keep wanting to slide away on me, I think. Plus the very vanilla picks up the mortar between the bricks very, very nicely. All right, let's start with, so these two pieces that I have here were out of the Simply Succulents, right? The coordinating dies with those. They like to hang around with each other. And I originally was going to cut and use the bowl this way, but this pattern's really cool too. So I think we're going to do it this way. We're just going to add, and you can use your Tombow or your seal for this. I'm going to bring my silicone pad down though, because otherwise I'm going to get glue all over my mat. So let me grab that to work on, because you know, there's the glues don't stick to this at all. I have to wash it. I was using shimmer paint for my mother's Mother's Day card, as a matter of fact. I did shimmer paint on her card and my mother-in-law's card. Created our own shimmer paper. All right. So we're going to go ahead and, now usually you hang this down off the planner, but I needed the height, right? So again, finding a different way to use what we've got. And my colors here are garden green and just jade. So this little guy can be mounted. And I only used dimensionals for a couple of the planners up on the bench. So there's the beginning. I did cut the pot, and I thought about doing it that way, but it blends in too much with the background. So we're going to flip it over and use, again, these papers are from In Good Taste. It's one of the ones I reach for every single time I sit down to craft. I've used it in some of the backgrounds behind my cards when we take the pictures for Pinterest, which we are woefully behind on getting that done. Got to get caught up there. Anybody watch my YouTube video? I haven't been out to check and see. If you did, what did you think? I stepped up our project from Sunday night and put motion into that pinwheel. All right, then we have these cute little bowls. Now these are just a die cut from the set. They don't actually coordinate with any of the stamped images. And we're going to put some of these little guys in here. This is fussy just because of glue. And again, yes, if I had remembered to use adhesive sheets, this would be easier. I should put a big Post-it note right in front of me at my design table. You're copying my bench idea right now. Well, good. That is the biggest form of flattery, you know, is when someone copies your design. So thank you. I am so glad that you like it. Then we're going to come in with this little pot. Now this one, because I am putting it in front of other things and I've got greenery coming around from all angles. So I did all the stamping before we got together today and die cutting, because that would have taken a little bit of time. And as it is, I'm probably going to have you here longer than the hour I try to keep us to. There we go. We're going to pop that one up up on dimensional as well. And why do I use so many dimensionals? Not really as well, though. Oh, thank you. I'm glad. Not really as well, though. I'm not sure what that means, Valerie. Because I don't want it to get flattened out as it goes through the postal system, right? So, and I'm even crazy enough to kind of tuck one leaf behind on that side. Okay, hey, we're getting close, guys. We just have one little pot to do, and I did already put that one together. I just realized I used the wrong pot, but that's okay. We will make it be just fine, right? So I think I'm just going to set that one right down there, but I'm going to reverse this and put the plant. Oh, wait, no, let's do that. Yeah. It doesn't matter how often I think I've got the design the way I want it. Oh, you're benched. It will. Keep playing with it. So now you don't have to throw away those scraps, right? You can keep them for chair legs. All right, so we have the greeting left to do. I like the back of that because it kind of ties in with the brick wall, but it's sitting down in the grass. The greeting wishing you a wonderful birthday. And again, I stole the stamp set that came out of, but I'm pretty sure it was the shaded summer that I used on Sunday night. We're going to stamp that on a piece of vanilla. We're going to bring in the label punch. Yeah, that background is awesome. That is in the paper. So I'm going to punch this out. Trying to line that up so it's straight. And then what I did, because I didn't want the vanilla, just the plain vanilla up there, and I didn't want a sponge again. Although the plain vanilla works, you can see, but I wanted to add a little bit of the greenery on. So what I did our old trick here. I punched one of those out of the garden green as well. I took my snips and I die cut. I cut that with my scissors. No, I didn't die cut that. I die cut everything else, but not that. And I cut it in half, right? And then that allows you to spread it so that you can just put a border on the end. And try to keep the borders about the same width. And you know what's coming, those darn dimensionals. I don't know if I could stamp without dimensionals. What do you think? You know, it's funny, I say that and I think back to when I started with stamping, compliments of my mama. And we didn't have, I don't know, 70, 80% of the tools and things that we have today. Okay, and I did just find my pot that I was going to use on the front. So maybe, let's see, I got one of these left over. Let's see if I can make this work on the inside. I cut those down a little bit because they might be a little too big for this pot if I left. Oh yeah, that works. Look at that. And we're going to stick that on the inside of our card, just down in the corner. Again, we're pulling that card front in. And then I thought I brought my inside greeting, but I didn't, so I'll have to find one to put in there. But there you go, guys. What do you think? So everything had a die from down here, right? The mountain air die. These are all from the succulent, no, from the plant die. These two are from the So Succulent dies. Everything else is from these amazing, perfect plant dies. There we go. There are, let me pull in the other ones. There are 3 cards today. This is the giveaway today. So be sure you share and share to your page or a group that you belong in. When you share it to my page, my VIP group, it doesn't do what I'm needing from you. It's all about the algorithms with Facebook. And since that is a private group, it doesn't get to anybody but my folks that follow me. And I actually share it there before we even start. So, well, look, I just about ran out of tape. That's usually a thing we do too, right? There you go. Those are the projects from today. I really hope you liked them. I had so much fun putting these together. I love this product suite. Take a look at it again. If you're a plant person, you know a plant person, even working with the kitty cat and the hanging basket, you will love having this in your stamping stash. Thank you so much for watching. Even if you're watching the replay, I appreciate you stopping by. Don't forget, you can still like, share, and love as well, because I will be drawing before we go live on Sunday night. So I'll be back Sunday night at 8, right where you found me today. And we'll have some come stamp along fun. Until then, my friends, have a great rest of your week and a good weekend. And I will look forward to chatting with you on Sunday. Take care, everyone. Bye.